How much pressure is Jonathan Gannon, his coaching staff, under now after yet another loss and just 2 to play? We are doing a temperature check of the Cardinals head coach going into the home stretch on the road for the Cardinals season, Johnny Venerable.
Just 1-7 at State Farm Stadium. Why that can't be ignored. Plus, we break down the very latest with the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cardinals are moving up. But who's moving out of Tempe? PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 in the world Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm, of course, Johnny Venerable. That's Brack in Studio K. Noah is gone for the holidays, but Kev is here of the PHNX Wildcats podcast, crushing it. We thought we'd bring some winners onto the show to see if that would rub off. Bo, my guess is probably not going to help these Redbirds.
Yeah, I don't know if anything can help, but of course, yeah, U of A. I don't know if they're ever going to lose again in any sport. They just refuse to do so. They had a no-loss November, continuing into December, but all our beloved Redbirds can do is lose football games. Very unfortunate, but let me ask a simple question. After hearing that live, after about a week of downtime, have we ever been more back than that? Nice job, Johnny. Tip of the cap to my co-host here. 48 hours from the holiday season. Want to give, of course, a hello to our friends out there in the chat. How about Deb? Sean, what's going on? New Jersey Cardinal. We got Ozzy, Jacob, Steven Jackson here. And then, of course, in the Die Hard Discord, Dylan Richards. Great to see you. Naheem, love to see you in the chat. As always, Desert Vulture. Shaft, tell me about my fantasy squad. Looking good for the finals, my guy. This episode of PHNX Cardinals brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. That's right, never ordinary. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the promo code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Bet $5. Get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Hit that like button. What a show. People are asking, are we going to keep it real today? Yes. Hit that like. This is a real big show for this podcast because you didn't get through the sludge of a 1-7 home season without leaving some carcasses along the way. So we're here to torch some people as it relates to this team because, again, this is what we're watching right now. It's an embarrassment. Like, I never thought that we would eclipse the 2018 season in terms of, like, how bad of a product it is. We've eclipsed it, in my opinion. I know there are people out there that are saying 2018 was less consumable. This team's got better players. I thought this team had significantly better coaching, and certainly they had higher expectations. And now we sit here 2 games away, assuming they lose the finale, certainly against the LA Rams. And of course, this weekend at Cincinnati with Joe Burrow white hot, they will finish the year with 14 losses, which, Bo, if you're scoring at home, will be the most in a single season in franchise history.
Wow, bad, right? And with the expectations going into this season, I agree with you. I mean, 2018 feels like a walk in the park as far as that's concerned. At least you had, the top pick coming out of that season. You had, at that time, you were coming off a rookie season. I know they pivoted off of Rosen, but, you could start to kind of see like, okay, what could Rosen be? Of course, Cliff Kingsbury infamously said, he's our guy. Wasn't their guy. They pivoted. They went to Kyler Murray. And here we are 7 years later, the Arizona Cardinals somehow with the expectations close to about as high as they've been, bottoming out, being in a season of conflict, not being able to kind of find a way out of this as the losses just stack up. It's tough, like, because you can't have a conversation about the previous 2 seasons. People don't have an appetite for it. They don't want to remember way back when this team was doing more with less, when they were competing week in and week out. The things that kind of helped this fan base at one point endear themselves to the head coach, Jonathan Gannon. Did a lot of great things for this organization. The only thing he couldn't do is the Cardinal sin was win football games.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of unfortunate how things have transpired here. And we watch another kind of hapless performance, and just from a team that is way past, playing beyond its expiration date. You got, unfortunately, players that you do envision being key players in the future, suffering unfortunate injuries, and Garrett Williams and Walter Nolan, and hopefully, they can avoid missing significant time next season. But man, it couldn't be. I can't think of a scenario, and we've endured a lot following this team since they moved here in the late 80s. A lot of crap seasons, but this takes the cake.
It's the worst, and it will continue to be the worst until this franchise gifts their fan base a palate cleanser, right? Like I said that yesterday after the show. Like, people just need to wash their hands of what's happening this year. And I think that's why you see a lot of people saying, I'm done consuming this team for this year. I'm going to check back in come January. And for that, I say thank you for still continuing to check in with us every day, because our numbers are as strong as ever. But with this franchise, I mean, like the Cardinals, it's tough because I like Jonathan Gannon, the person, but they're not a likable team. They consistently lose. And then they have press conferences where they talk about staying the course. They don't fire anybody, and they do the same thing week after week. And you ask for buy-in, and that's going to fall on deaf ears. Kind of like it's maybe falling on deaf ears for a lot of the players that feel like, yeah, I'm ready to hit, vacation time with the fam in about 3 weeks' time when I'm
right.
Locker. Like, if you don't expect if your players aren't responding to you, the fan base ain't going to respond to you either. So here's where I'm at. As we sit here today, we broke down to the best of our ability that sham of a write-up from Ian Rappaport from NFL.com that came directly from the team on the Sunday pregame show. If you missed that, Bo and I went through line by line of basically what equated to a press release that was gifted to them by the Cardinals. And they mentioned that they were going to stick with head coach Jonathan Gannon. The Jonathan Gannon was expected back. I think that was with the expectation that they would need to win one of these games, because we've talked about it ad nauseum. Michael Bidwill wants everything, Michael Bidwill wants any reason to bring Jonathan Gannon back. Jonathan Gannon, currently with the numerous losses that have compiled, is currently giving him no reason to bring him back.
Right. And it is unfortunate. It really is. Like, as much as I want to romanticize about, a future where the Cardinals face all this adversity and, they push Gannon through, and there's, big changes that are made, but they have a successful offseason and they're able to, change the tide here and compete in this gauntlet of a division.
Right.
And we all look back on it and like, man, what a job by them to be able to kind of pick themselves up from that disastrous season. It's just, in this day and age of the NFL, of just pro sports or just sports landscape, you don't get that much grace. You just don't. And you have to think about what the sludge of an off season it's going to be coming off the heels of this caliber of a season, and trying to just kind of keep your head above water and save complete face as an organization with that much delayed gratification for a fan base to prove yourself. I think it's asking too much. I don't think you have the luxury of it due to the amount of losses that you've sustained, not so much as a whole, but just recently this season. I mean, as Jeremy Fowler put it out in his report, kind of breaking down where they could be organizationally and JG's future, it was basically saying, when you put it in perspective, if they lose out, they have gone 1-14 down the stretch in their final 15 games after a 2-0 start. As Baldy said last week, he doesn't see anybody surviving that.
No, and throw some water on that rap sheet report. Schefter is basically doing kind of an about face today with a lot of these coaches. Now, Gannon hasn't been mentioned yet, but basically that report said Mike McDaniel was safe. Schefter's come out and said, like, Dolphins have made no decisions on that. And I think in a weird way, like, I appreciate the Cardinals not airing their dirty laundry out during the season as they attempt to just kind of try to save face for this year. But we've talked about this, Bo. Michael Bidwill, in the press conference that preceded Cliff Kingsbury's firing, mentioned that he came to that decision relatively quickly over a couple day period. Now, who knows if that's true, but those are the optics that he wanted to present. And I think that's important in compared to this situation where everything can on the surface look fine, when in reality, Michael Bidwill can turn around on Black Monday and, relieve the staff, show up on Wednesday and say, like, yeah, we just assessed everything Sunday after, the bludgeoning against the LA Rams, and we opted to go in a different direction. That's usually how it goes with Michael Bidwill. Michael Bidwill's never fired a coach in season. Very rarely. I mean, like Wilkes, I think we really felt the writing was on the wall. Cliff, it was hot and go those last couple of days. We weren't completely sure. We thought we were. I think with Gannon, why this has been such a difficult process to read is the assurances that he has gotten has really only allowed him to check one box. It's like, win a game, win one of these games, beat the Jags, beat the Bucks, beat the Falcons, beat somebody, anybody, Houston. They can't beat anybody. And so we talk about having your hand forced. I believe that is inevitably what's going to happen with Michael Bidwill. Why do I believe that? Partially? And again, like this can be exclusive to our show. And I think that most people can connect the dots. The Cardinals are aware of the exodus of season ticket holders that have happened during this year. Now, you want to cross-reference that with like the increase? Sure. But if the Cardinals are winning, I would imagine a lot of those people are okay maybe paying a little bit more. They don't love it, but you're going to pay a little bit more for a product that you love that's repaying you with wins. The Cardinals, I'm told, are very aware of the exodus of some season ticket holders and ticket holders in general. And that's a very difficult sell in 2 weeks, putting JG up there in front of the media. I mean, it's an impossible task, in my opinion.
Right. And you're going to see that, like, if they push him through and he continues on his current deal, somebody who, was a dark horse going into the season. Some people had him as a coach of the year candidate.
Yeah, top 8.
We've talked about, if he had kind of had a little bit more success than the previous season, could be an extension candidate. And now we're talking about, his unfortunate demise here as a Cardinals coach in less than a season's time. It really is, it's shocking, but to think about what you would have to endure throughout the offseason, like from just numerous like free agent signings and, the combine and the times that you put your head coach out there in the forefront and being kind of the CEO of your organization. It's just going to be tough, and it's going to be, not welcomed by the fan base. It's really kind of a brutal to think about. Like how can you maintain throughout, the long stretch of the off season and generate buzz for this team after this, where he unfortunately is synonymous with its downfall,
with losing. And I think you want to hang your hat on injuries. Like, we don't subscribe to that. It's nice to see other people here locally that are finally pushing back on that. But if you're the Arizona Cardinals and you want to say that the reason that you're going to lose 14 games in year 3 of a rebuild, where you have fortified your roster, is because of injuries, that's fine. You do you. But guess what? As a result, like, nobody is going to subscribe to that narrative when you're attempting to get buy-in this offseason.
Right.
No one but you are giving that grace to yourself.
Right.
And inevitably, and this is the beauty of this product, is this is an entertainment business and it's a consumer-driven business. And it is not good for the NFL. I don't care who you are, to see the Cardinals Stadium basically a graveyard these last couple games. They don't want to see that. They moved to this market because it is. I live here. I've been here for half a decade. Bo's been here much longer. This is a thriving economic climate here in Phoenix. Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe, Tucson. I mean, it's a mecca. People are moving here. Try to buy a house here. It's almost impossible. The football team, it's there for you, but you have to be competent. It's not, you don't have the history of winning to basically be like, well, we can rest on our laurels, right? The Commanders have Super Bowls. They can talk about Joe Gibbs till the cows come home, right? The Cardinals don't have that. So you're going to have to win. Look at the LA Rams. The LA Rams are doing nothing but winning, and they still have a tough time with the opposing fans. So it's but what you can't do is snub your nose at the fans, and that's what this would be.
Yeah. No, it would just be like, I'm betting on what I know, my insider knowledge of, obviously the relationship that Bidwill and Gannon have. And it's admirable and wanting to have that continuity and not be this knee-jerk organization that's willing to pull the plug at, any sign of adversity. This isn't that. It's just, you are handcuffed by the unfortunate results on the field. You are handcuffed by the regression of this football team. Like, when you look at this and you want to point to the injuries, and it's on every broadcast now, and I think that is obviously it's put there, right? Strategically put there. We've seen it, how many games players have missed due to injury, how many guys have played for this team, 80. It is astounding. But then you have to understand, when you start to peel back that onion as far as what went wrong, like when they ended that 5-game skid in Dallas and now have proceeded to go on a 7-game losing skid. Lose Walter Nolan yesterday. They lose Garrett Williams yesterday. And sure, like, Walt missed some games in between there, but they've been relatively healthy on the defensive side of the football, Johnny, and they are dead last as far as points surrendered in the NFL. Since the Dallas game, they've given up the most points in the NFL. And when you look at the bulk of the injuries, what side of the football are they on? Offense. So it's just like
defensive head coach.
Right.
And there is nothing to be able to look at your fans in 2 weeks and say, trust us, we got this. Right? Like, there's no history of winning. This staff has never won, ever. Right? You're going to fire minimum 2 coordinators. So then you're going to have to go out and get competent, qualified people for what equates to be a trial period with a head coach that could be fired before Halloween. That's impossible. It's unprecedented. And I'm sorry, to put out a piece of material through an NFL mouthpiece, and I'm with all due respect, basically telling fans that we know that this season is because of one factor. When you proceed to lose 14 games and have a minus point differential, what it will be over 100 points, that is basically telling your fan base, we know better than you. Well, like, you're not 500. Like, Zach Taylor is going to finish the year 7-10, and the Bengals can spin that because they have Joe Burrow, and they could say, look, what we've done, we've been to a Super Bowl, we missed Joe this year. This regime, I mean, like, there are teams that have turned their franchise around in 1 year. Vrabel, Duval in Jacksonville, Liam Cohen, right? What's happening with the Chicago? The Bears have been terrible. The Cardinals have talent. Like, we're going to get into this later in the show. Spare me we need to tank 2026 because we lost a corner and a defensive tackle. Then we just shouldn't play. That reminds me of the Cardinals telling everybody, feel sorry for us because of our injuries. So should we just not watch the games then?
Right.
If you're telling us you're bad because of injuries, then no one should consume you until you have 11 Pro Bowlers on both sides of the ball. Congratulations.
Right.
I happen to like the players that you're playing. I happen to think that guys like, I don't know, Dalvin Tomlinson has been good everywhere suddenly but here, right? Cody Simon, Will Johnson. I like your players. I love the trio of receivers on offense. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a you problem. And again, there's only one way, in my opinion, to remedy that.
It's a ridiculous thought to say, hey, like just punt on 26 and just prepare yourself for 27. Oh, the quarterback class is stacked. He's like, you know what happened in the quarterback class? The quarterback class this year was supposed to be actually pretty solid, but those players played themselves out of favor.
Right.
Like, what's giving you the confidence that all of them are they going to find they're going to hit the portal and they're going to come back and everybody's going to be a first round pick again. And you're just going to be like, we just got to pick which quarterback we want. And they're going to be successful. Like there's misses all the time. And guys, they don't develop and they don't hit into their potential. It's
right.
Like, you're probably going to be here in 27 and say, man, I thought this quarterback class was going to be a lot deeper than it is.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. So yeah, no, like there's going to be quarterbacks that have to be available. The Cardinals have painted themselves, unfortunately, in this corner where whatever quarterback is available, whether it's draft, trade market, free agency, they have to be aggressive to go get him. That's what it comes down to. And if you're not, like, the question is, can the quarterback play at the NFL level? Is it a starting caliber quarterback or is it not? It's not a whether like, well, this class is mid and there's just no quarter. That's not true. Mendoza and Moore are good enough prospects, and you can stack them up against first rounders from previous years.
1,000%.
It's a ridiculous notion. And we've seen that even with as much scouting and draft talk as we have, people miss. And there are guys that you can get down the road. Like, you can find a quarterback that can get you in a position to win football games. To think just because it looks like the odds are stacked against you and it's a little tougher path to it, that you should just take your ball and go home for 2026 is ridiculous. And still, if you do that, the people that are saying that, the new head coach or current head coach, is going to get crushed throughout the season next year. The quarterback play is going to continue to be criticized. What's the point of doing that? Who comes out on the other side clean? Nobody.
You need a clean slate. And we're going to keep this conversation going around the corner. We're going to answer your super chats. And we're going to take a look at the draft standings plus JG, his presser comments, that and more. Hit that like, PHNX. Cardinals putting you in the blues, but what else can do that? A robust heating and air bill. I can't tell you, first time I moved to the Valley, bought my first home here, that crooked number on that energy bill. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then somebody told me, you got to get hooked up with APS. You got to get a smart thermostat. Smarten up, Johnny. That's what they said. And man, I'm so glad I did. I've been saving money big time with our friends at APS. You can too. When you upgrade to a smart thermostat, you can cut costs year after year. APS customers can get a new smart thermostat for as low as $399, $0. All you got to go do is check out aps.com/sale. That's aps.com/sale. If you haven't checked out a smart thermostat, you can access them at home or away from home. It's like anything else. You get an app on your phone, you can manipulate the temperature, and then it also gives you breakdowns or reports of when your air conditioner is working at its hardest, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, living in the Valley, it's a beautiful 75 degrees here on December 22nd. Things can change. Temperatures can change. Don't let your bill change, though. Shipping and taxes right now, not included. Other restrictions apply. Check them out. aps.com/sale.
Unbelievable what's going on with APS. Let's talk about our friends over at Rally House, who can be your life preserver here as we're in the final hours before, of course, the end comes to Christmas shopping. Rally House, because we all have the Arizona fan in our lives. It might even be you. And Rally House has all the gifts that you're going to covet. How about the go-to spot for local team gear? Whether it's Cardinals, Suns, Diamondbacks, ASU, U of A, GCU, they got everything for everyone, and it's all local. It's not a bunch of bandwagon fans from out of state. You're not going to find any Dodgers, Lakers, Yankees, Red Sox, blah, blah, blah. No, you want, as a Valley sports fan, a store that caters to you, and that's Rally House. Hats, jerseys, drinkware, signs for the house, coolers, socks. It's unbelievable, the selection there. Check them out. Tempe, Mesa, Glendale. Even shop from your couch. How about that? Just head to rallyhouse.com and get your game day setup handled. Rally House.
Teo Mackey, I didn't see this bite in the Jonathan Gannon presser, but he mentioned that Gannon apologized for how the season has gone. I apologize. I kind of been the same answer, same story with where we're at right now, but no one's pleased, no one's happy.
Right.
What was the kind of the context of that? Do you remember?
As far as the messaging week in and week out, you come in and you say, they're back to the process. The guys, you had a good Monday after a loss, and, their temperament's where it needs to be. And, we're in a good spot to where we can get this thing back on track. And it's just kind of like that broken record, and it's week in and week out. He's just like, I'm sorry. I know I'm saying this every week, and the results continue to be a loss. And that was the context of that.
And, we've seen examples. I'm sure Gannon's alluded to it publicly and privately. Like, teams turn their seasons around all the time.
Yeah.
And, that Philly team that he was with that first year with Sirianni and Shane Steichen, like, I think they were like 1-6, made the playoffs. Like, that happens in the NFL. The problem is with Gannon and his staff is they've had so many chances, and they just are seemingly a worse product now than they were 18 months ago. Not seemingly, they are. I mean, they have lost 17 of 22 games. Think about that. 17 of their last 22 games they have lost. That includes 1-0 burger win in the finale last year against San Francisco. So they've essentially gone over in the NFC West. I mean, the numbers are so damning that I think it is. And I wasn't in this camp a month ago, right? I thought they were going to win games. I thought they would win Jags and, Falcons and maybe the Bengals. And we'll see. Like, I thought he was going to scratch and claw his way to 6 wins. And again, like, that wouldn't impress a lot of people, but at least you could say, like, guys, we haven't given up. We know how to do this, right? I think now anybody, and I say this with all due respect to the people out there that are very supportive of this regime returning. I think anybody out there that is pushing, assuming they lose these last 2 games, like, you got to give them more time is so disrespectful to the fans that have to endure this. I have gone a complete 180 because I thought they'd win a few games. Losing 13 of 14 after the first 2 years and the overabundance of losses, like, that would be, you'll have lost 19 of 24 games. No fan base should have to endure that with no change. None. No one's going to care if you fire Drew Petzing losing 13 of 14. You know what we're going to say? It's your fault because you should have fired him 3 months ago. Right. It's your fault that the offense has eroded and now the defense is, just kind of numb and more or less kind of given up, right? They'll never say that, but, like, that's on you. If you had fired Drew and kept Clayton Adams or hired somebody competent, and we've made this argument, I've made this argument, you're not better in terms of, like, a playoff team, but you get to keep your job. Like,
right.
Like, this is a results business. You're in charge of the staff. The staff is failing you. You don't just get to be like, hey, guys, I know you've endured a horrific nightmare season. Just give us more time. You don't get that in the NFL, and you don't deserve that. Like, if our show wasn't producing and I went to our leadership and I said, you know what, we've had a bad year, but just give us all 2026. We'll turn this around, having shown no evidence of the contrary.
Right.
Like, this is not Major League Baseball. This is not, what was the team? The 76ers tanking for 5 years.
Right.
This is
Trust the process.
Mother effing NFL, man. Not for long. And you've already, compared to these other teams, you've gotten an eternity to do this.
Right. It's like, Mom, I'm a D student, but I'm going to get an A this semester and it's going to be different.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you've got 4 years of high school that tell me that this is who you are as a student. Like, barring any sort of miracle here, I mean, you're going to continue to be who you are.
Right.
And it's like, even if I did go from a D, like, what's the ceiling? Am I going to get to become an A student?
Right.
The likelihood of that, probably close to zero. It's just, you have so much ground to cover. It really is, especially within this division. It does put you in a spot to where like the idea of it seems hopeless, unfortunately. It really does. Like, and I'm a guy that thinks that, like, given the right circumstances, like Gannon is going to be a good coach in this league. And I know people roll their eyes. They don't want to hear that. They think we're carrying water.
Good next year, sure.
Right. But it's just like when the losses are like they've been in the last 7 weeks, and then, you know, what kind of cost you games early on, which taxed this roster and this organization to the point where it broke the levees. It really is kind of, it puts you in a spot to where it's so daunting to think of that future, even if it's a new proven play caller on the offensive side of the football. Like, they're out there, right? Offensive play callers are out there, but you're going to be competing with the coaching vacancies that happen, the teams that aren't content with where their play calling was this year. You got special teams you probably have to figure out. You know, we'll see what, you know, Rollis's status is. And this is one step. This is a 2-step process where we're at step 1. Like, they have to make it there first and foremost. But this is, there would have to be, it would be Gannon basically the last man standing with this roster, and having to find a quarterback and then retool the entire staff. It's just, as you said earlier, it just is about as unprecedented as it comes. It's not us trying to pile on. It's just, that's what the history of this league points to.
The people who are like, give him more time, it's injuries. I had some guy message me today, and I've gotten hundreds of messages like this. I've had my tickets since the stadium opened, season tickets. I canceled them today. And like, I believe people when they say that. I don't think people are blowing smoke. Like, listen, if you just canceled your tickets, you've clearly been trying to wait this out.
Yeah.
God love you. It's like paying thousands of dollars for a 1-7 year 3 home product when a lot of the games are not competitive, and you got to pay thousands of dollars to go to your stadium to be infiltrated by, you know, smelly divisional fans to watch your team get their ass kicked 3 times a year. I wouldn't want to do that either. That sounds like the worst time. And there are countless people just like that. Like people not only like that, they're like, I am done until he's fired. I mean, the tide has turned so much. And again, like, say what you want about his, you know, off the field, and he's not everybody's cup of tea. I think he's a good person, a good man. I do think, I'm with you, Bo. I think he's a good coach. He's not a good head coach, but he's a good coach. All that matters. Somebody put it in the chat earlier. All that matters. Nothing else matters other than wins and losses. Nothing. That's why the NFL, you put up with so many character concerned guys.
Yeah.
If they can produce for you. Like, I use this example all the time. Like Sean Payton, I don't think is a nice person, but he's an ass kicker and a winner. Jim Harbaugh, people are like, oh my God, the travesty. He left Michigan a shell of itself. No, he won a national title. He's gone to the Chargers. He's going to go 2 for 2 with playoff berths after Brandon Staley burned that franchise to the ground, right? Yeah, the NJ Cardinal, I canceled them. The Cardinals are aware of your cancellations. They're aware of it. Not a good sign, right? That's the quickest way for an exodus. And you think I want to come on here and be like, don't buy into the team that I love, live, and breathe every day? Of course not. But you gotta show us something. You have shown us nothing. Like, it is the injury thing to go so hard in the paint with that publicly. Like, that's not Gannon, by the way. Like, and here's where I'll defend the head coach. Gannon is not putting out those messages. Gannon is not telling people to feel sorry for us, right? The Cardinals feel like they need to protect Gannon by doing that, which I think makes this dramatically worse. It makes him look soft. It makes the whole operation look weak, just like when they put out those pew-pew videos that undercut him. The Cardinals are not helping. You think you're helping him. You are not helping him by doing that.
Right. Right. And they were very well aware of the Pelissaro report via Eisen.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, you know, if it was that a response to it, because that was, you know, I found that clip of Tom Pelissaro on Rich Eisen from earlier last week.
Yes.
Put it out there, and it caught with most people who report on the Cardinals. And then days later, it's Tom Pelissaro, it's Ian Rappaport tag teaming this, update as far as the coaches. And you've got it more that it's more like with verse towards what the Cardinals, where they would want that narrative to be at this point in the season.
It was written by the Cardinals. We don't know that. How can you read that and not think this was written by the team to be published so that they can put this out there? And you got people like who I respect, Kent Summers, underneath the article saying this isn't real. There's nothing here that's tangible to latch onto. They don't it's like if we had a chance to go to the Cardinals leadership today and you put a microphone.
Is that your microphone?
Yeah, here's my microphone. Excuse me, Michael Bidwill and, major leadership for the Cardinals, Mark Dalton, everybody. What's the status of head coach Jonathan Gannon? It's this. And what is he going to say? Yeah, you know what? This is unacceptable. He's fired. No, he's not going to say that. And I wouldn't want him to say that, right? But I do think I'm less annoyed with that piece of content and more annoyed with the clear manipulative narrative of the Cardinals are only losing because of injuries. That is a slap in the face to fans. Fans are so educated. People consume this. You're lucky. People consume your product and it's terrible. They consume NFL year-round, 365 days a year. We live and die with every signing, every draft pick. You don't think people are smart enough to know, hey, our depth chart looks pretty good. I still like these players. I saw what the roster looked like when you were winning games at the end of 2023. I think our Michael Wilson's been around for 3 years. Why are you just now utilizing him? People aren't stupid. They can put 2 and 2 together.
Well, and then it's it's the injuries, and it's you go up, you have an opportunity to aggressively build on your lead yesterday, and this team is so risk averse, settle for a field goal, and then the Falcons go down 3 consecutive plays to Bijan Robinson, who looks like, I don't know if he would be down in touch football. He's got 3 plays for 65 yards. He's in the end zone.
Yeah.
And the 2 field goals that you just sat on, you're down. You're now down. You just had 2 drives to build a lead. And then 4th and 1, you decide, okay, we're just going to kick it. We're going to take the points. How many times, you got to think back, how many times has this team had the opportunity to be the aggressor and they decided, no, we're going to take the points and we're going to play defense. And they haven't had the defense to play defense in this situation.
Right. Well, according to them, they can't play anything because
you go for it. You kick it on 4th and 1 as you're having your best performance on the ground of all season.
Yeah.
You kick it on 4th and 1. You get the points there. And then later in the game, it's like you're kicking it twice and you miss back-to-back field goals. It's just like you have 3 wins on the season. What are we doing here? Be aggressive.
Gannon says, I'm not afraid to get blown out. Well, clearly, it's I'll just keep trying to, I'm not going to play not to get blown out. But you also
look at this stretch yesterday offensively. And this is you can look back the last, all these 7 games that they've lost.
Right.
It looks very similar, these offensive stretches. Look at it, it goes. And usually it doesn't even come in as far as points. But they go field goal, touchdown, field goal, miss field goal, punt, field goal, interception, game over.
And you had momentum that drive where it was 4th and 1. You can't sneak Jacoby Brissett for 4 yards. I know nobody wanted the Cardinals to win that game, but yesterday was just I think what Bo and I are trying to explain, it's just a microcosm of their tenure.
Yeah.
When have they pressed the right button with anything in game where you're that was savvy, that was it, that was a winning decision? I got 17 losses in 22 games that say otherwise. We're coming back around the corner. It's PHNX. Only 2 more regular season weeks of NFL football. That means only 2 more weeks to dabble on those robust NFL slates with our friends at Bet365. Those Sunday slates, man, it's like Christmas every day. It's never ordinary with our friends at Bet365. And again, check them out tonight. Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Saturday Night Football. They've got the early payout offer. If you don't know, if your team goes up in either college or the pros by 17 points at any point, It's an instant payout. So you don't have to sweat it out. So for instance, if the Cincinnati Bengals money line is your preferred bet, why wouldn't it be? And the Bengals, not the Bungles, go up by 17 against the lowly Cardinals, you are paid out. Even if Jacoby Brissett plays hero ball, you don't have to sweat it. Never sweat it with our friends at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the bonus code PHNX365, deposit $10, place a $5 bet, get $150 in bonus bet. If your bet wins or loses, again, you can use those bonus bets on player props, futures, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary. Got to be 21 years or older, physically located here in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
We've all been there before. You have that sickening feeling in your stomach. Oh no, the moment you realize you left your favorite sunglasses somewhere completely ridiculous. Johnny lost his in the Pacific Ocean somewhere. We nearly lost Johnny, but thank God it was just his beloved Shady Rays. And of course, you can replace those easily. ShadyRays.com, lost, broken, replacement. They make it easy. Check it out. Of course, we switched to Shady Rays back when we started working for PHNX. Great partnership because these sunglasses are made for real life. Polarized, durable, great looking, and not crazy expensive. Great price point. Well under $100. You're not going to break the bank and can save even more just by being a listener or viewer of PHNX Cardinals. You can get 35% off using the code PHNX. The best part, though, you lose, you break them. As I said, even on day one, Shady Rays sends you a brand new pair. Unbelievable. No hassle, no guilt trip. We teamed up with Shady Rays. As I said, ShadyRays.com, and go use the code PHNX for 35% off polarized shades. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shady Rays, ShadyRays.com. This is why I love our chat. We got the Cosman saying the sea was angry in reference to Johnny being whipped around, losing his Shady Rays. We got our guy Steven Jackson saying it was a robust wave that took him out.
It was.
Yeah. And then Sports Hero thinks I look like a monk today. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very on par, on brand after that game yesterday.
My kind of orangish hoodie.
Yeah.
Looking very monkish, but you guys are unbelievable. We're going to get to your super chats here later in the show, as we always do, but I just thought the chat was on fire. The sea was angry that day, my friends.
That's right. There's not going to be a happy ending in this story. There's not going to be pulling a golf ball out of a blowhole to get us out of this mess. It's not a quick fix here. Although
Titleist,
I do think, and we touched on this earlier, like the right regime can turn this around. Like Bruce Arians came into this job into equally as difficult a division, or close to it, and won 10 games with the Cardinals in his first year. Like, we have seen, like, special at head coach can remedy this, right? How many games this year? And this is why I scoff at the people, like, tear it down. How many games this year have the Cardinals, like, been favored and should have won? Like, the Cardinals have 3 wins. And everything I hear from people are like, well, they're way better than their 3 wins, suggests they should have double or triple that. It's like, okay, and then you want to just, like, cut your losses and start over. This is not a tear down to the studs. Like, right. Garrett Williams tore his Achilles. It's terrible. He's going to be out. We expect Walter Nolan to have major knee surgery. He's going to be out. Number one, and again, this is not me belittling their injuries. They're great players. I hope they return. Walter will be back sooner than Garrett. The Cardinals have corners for days. They've drafted 100 of them, right? Like, the defensive line needs a new coaching staff. The defensive line needs a new scheme. These defensive linemen suddenly, I think it was Teo Mackey pointed out, like, the defensive line has just been atrocious, and everybody as a player has regressed, right? Like, I'm willing to roll the dice on, like, another draft pick, bringing back Dalvin Tomlinson. Darius looked good yesterday. Like, name me a defensive lineman, a D tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars or the New England Patriots. I know they got Milton Williams, or the San Francisco 49ers. Just because this season has gone bad and there are some injuries now does not mean that the Cardinals can't be competitive next year. I mean, this can be remedied. This could be remedied after this season in 3 months.
Right. Well, it's just like, have a higher standard, Cardinals. 26 is over. It ain't happening.
That's it.
Have a higher standard. Want more for yourself as an organization. but also just punt on 26. That's what any smart organization would do, because it's just too daunting to find a quarterback in this market. In this economy, a quarterback? Are you kidding me? No, you have to aggressively find it. The Seahawks did it last year. Teams at the top of the draft, they found a way. Like if it's Moore, if it's Mendoza, you got to find out a way to get one of those guys. If it's Mac Jones, and I know he's in your division, if that's the guy you scout and you believe in, I don't know if that's the right move, but if that's what they identify and they said, this is the starting caliber quarterback, that if we have the infrastructure in place, we can win football games, then you got to do it. You got to find a way.
Bo, like, call the Ravens on Lamar Jackson. Call Tampa on Baker Mayfield. The Ravens are plummeting. People are saying John Harbaugh is going to be fired. Call all these quarterbacks. Offer first round picks. Be aggressive. Let's not have status quo. We're going to get Malik Willis, or we're going to get placeholder, and we're just waiting to be fired. We're just waiting to lose out.
Right.
That it's ridiculous.
If Monti survives and he just says, well, I'm going to wait till 27, it's like he's not making that call on the quarterback.
No, he'll be fired next January. And again,
I think that this quarterback, that the 27 class, like all of a sudden, I know Sam Levitt's probably going to land with a top tier program, and Lenoris Sellers is coming back, and Mensa from Duke, and you got the kid transferring from North Texas, who's a nice prospect, could be, but everything happens in any college football season, guys fall off, they don't tap into their potential, injuries happen, all sorts of stuff happens where guys don't reach that, and it's never as big of a class at any position as people expect.
I love this from RM here. Seahawks won with Geno Smith. Niners won with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
Like, do that. If you can't get Mendoza or Dante Moore, let's take a look, Kevin, at the updated draft board. Guess what you are going to get? A premium flipping position. The Arizona Cardinals are picking fifth overall. They've jumped ahead of the Tennessee Titans. First of all, this graphic alone should get us a new regime. You have 2 less wins than the Saints. Bo and I were in New Orleans for the opener. They were dead. People are like, this is going to be the worst season ever. Cardinals are like, we're going to the playoffs. They have 2 more wins than you, with Tyler Shuck, who couldn't play in the preseason. He was atrocious. He looked like Nate Peterman 2.0. The Titans, who are maybe the worst roster since the 2019 Cardinals or 2018 Cardinals, have now leapfrogged you, which we thank them, right? The Jets, Browns, Giants, and Raiders are openly trying to lose games, and you can't tell me they're not. They're trying to get to the finish line here. And then here's the Cardinals trying to win any game to keep Jonathan Gannon employed, and they're sitting 5th overall. Look at that. The Jets are playing a rookie who should not be in the NFL, who is a USFL player, over Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor, so they don't win any more games. The Browns, everybody's going to be fired. They're going to blow it up. People are saying they're sabotaging Shador. Everybody's getting fired with the Raiders. Pete Carroll's not making it out. They already fired both their offensive and defensive coordinator. And the Giants have fired their head coach. They're going to fire Joe Shane.
Yeah.
And Jackson Dart had 33 yards passing. Those teams are trying to lose. And here are the Cardinals. They're like, we're going to get this going. Just stick with us. This is just a dip. It's like, you're picking 5th. You are these teams. You're not above these teams.
You mentioned Tyler Shuck, has helped the Saints.
What's that?
Defense.
Yeah.
They have the least points against, because when I was punching the numbers for the Cardinals, who have given up the most points.
Is that bad?
Since Dallas. The least against during that stretch. New Orleans Saints giving up just 15.8 points per game. They don't give up anything, like as far as yardage. They're one of the top defenses in the league. This was supposed to be a team that was going to run the ball.
Brandon Staley.
Play defense. Wow. Run the ball, play defense, and just kind of have a game manage the quarterback position. They're doing it in New Orleans. They're finding a way here at the end of the season and can give that fan base a little juice going into the 2026 offseason.
Hey guys, feel sorry for us. We're going to lose 13 of 14, go 0 for in our division. It's just a dip. Everything will be fine. We'll just make a couple tweaks this offseason. I don't want to see you guys with any more prospects. No, thank you. I don't want to see any more Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones from you guys. Nope. I don't want that. And that goes back to what you talked about earlier, right? Regime returns and they do, hey, it's like on Twitter, hey, source. I've gotten this all the time. I'm sure you have. Trust me, bro. Hey, Cardinals, trust me, bro. It's going to be fine. This is all going to work out. Well, how do we know? Because it's only been not only bad, horrifically nightmare world bad. Oh, just trust us, bro. It'll be good.
Right.
It'll be good.
Well, the Cardinals head coach did answer some questions similar to that today's press conference. Let's hear from the Cardinals head coach on the other side here at PHNX Cardinals.
I'll tell you what, the holiday season is here. And for the most part, I've hooked everybody up in my life with the kind of things that they want, right? I'm a giver, as they say, and I usually don't ask for a lot. But here's what I did ask for this season. Anything and everything Mack Weldon. I told my wife, I said, typically I'm a craft guy. Like, have the kids make me something. This year I said, no, I need the kids to go to Mack Weldon, get the credit card out, and hook daddy up. Explore the collection at MackWeldon.com. Again, bring on the heat in the coldest of days with their Sherpa fleece. Unbelievable. Extra fluffy. I want that under my stocking, under my tree this year. Their clothes designed to fit your style and demand of a modern life. They're big boy clothes, as I like to call them, right? Stuff that I can wear out to work out, to walk around with, to the business meeting. They feel and look like regular clothes because they are, but they've got that latest modern comfort. For over 10 years, Mack Weldon has designed timeless, innovative menswear to help get you through the day with confidence. I donated actually, all of my old clothes, mostly outside of Mack Weldon. I got rid of the graphic tees. I got rid of the shirts that are a little too tight on your boy, and I got hooked up. Call to action right now. Conquer the cold, conquer the holiday season, and conquer your closet blues with Mack Weldon's collection. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order of $125 or more. You will spend it with the bonus code PHNX. That's MackWeldon.com, promo code PHNX.
You really raised your game, and it was necessary. You needed it, my guy. But now some are saying Johnny Venerable, fashionista, possible.
People are saying,
let me remind all those, you got to be 21 years or older to play, but 'tis the season, at least for a couple more days. Of course, Arizona Lottery's holiday scratchers with over $80 million in prizes with holiday scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. If you're looking to add a little extra excitement this year, look no further than our friendly and old friends, our little friends that you can put in your stocking or just give to friends at holiday parties. White Elephant Gift Exchanges, the holiday scratchers. 6 festive scratchers to choose from, including cash countdown with prizes up to $250,000 and candy cane cash that actually smells like peppermint. That's real. It does smell. You get your little lucky coin out there, you scratch away, and it's right there, the smell of the holiday season. We love what's going on with the holiday. Of course, the holiday scratchers, fast play tickets. Love to play. Spread the holiday cheer with holiday scratchers from the Arizona Lottery.
Hit that like button. Let's hear from the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, on the state of the Cardinals injury situation.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy because I know he didn't see this year going like it did. I know he's got goals that's because he wasn't out there, wasn't able to achieve. But, yeah, he has shown the ability to be a difference maker on our defense and impact the game in the run and pass game, and will be a huge piece of us moving forward. You know, I believe in what we do. I believe in our process. Like I said to you guys a couple weeks ago, I believe in this team. Yeah, the results haven't been there, but I haven't lost confidence. I really haven't, you know, and not to say that we haven't tweaked things during the year. Obviously, we had to play. We have had to play with different people. You know, that's part of the game. You know, we'll look at everything that we're doing when it's time to do that and make adjustments. Because you're right. Like I always say, like, I'm not going to keep going down doing the same thing. You know, so. I got to look at everything, and you know, Craig, like I take it on the chin. I'm responsible for everything that goes in and out of that building. So ultimately that's my responsibility. I look at everything like if we're not, here's an example, like if we're not playing a technique, in my opinion, that's like kind of a technique and fundamental that we're not executing at a high enough level, how are we drilling it? How are we teaching it? What are we showing them to try to get them to execute it a little bit better? Or maybe you might want to change the verbiage of how we're saying it, you know? Nick and I were talking about that this morning with certain things, like maybe we're clouding their mind on, you know, being so detailed that it's slowing them down. You know, that's a big picture question, you know, but to your point, Craig, like, you know, this ain't getting done at the level that I feel like it should get done. What are we doing to change it and get it better, you know? So I think that honestly goes on a daily basis, you know? Then from my standpoint, and that's with all the coaches and coordinators and things, and then from my standpoint, how you set up the week, you know, we've changed throughout the week, you know, not crazy. Like this week's a little bit changed because of the holiday, but still basically a normal week, just moved around a little bit. But you always try to take in all the information and make some tweaks to give you an advantage, you know, and at the end of the day, get them ready to play on Sunday.
So through a couple different clips there, one as far as Walter Nolan, his head coach, kind of speaking for the young man who posted on his Instagram today that, you know, he's not going to be, you know, down and out as far as another injury. This one's going to end his season. We couldn't confirm whether or not he's going to have surgery, but it seems like this is one of those that comes with it. And then, you know, as far as just the approach and trying to how they're going to go about changing things. And then you get a glimpse as far as why they think players are struggling on defense. Players, as far as maybe it was too much, maybe there was too much on their plate. Maybe it was, you know, drinking from a fire hose, and maybe there was some paralysis by analysis or over analysis there. I don't know, but it's tough when you've lost now 12 of 13. I don't think any explanation is going to, you know, suffice for anybody to say like, hey, okay, well, that makes sense to me. Let go on and get them the next time. It's just the losses is just piled up so much. It's really tough.
And like, I see people saying, hey, Jonathan Gannon did an interview this afternoon and it sounds like he's coming back. Well, Jonathan Gannon's operating like he'll be back. That's all he can do.
Right.
I mean, the Cardinals have not indicated that he's going to be terminated at the end of the year, right? We're only going off of like what history suggests, right? But like Jonathan Gannon, like is forging ahead and he's taking it one day at a time. I wish instead he looked at the big picture earlier this year and said, well, I'm not getting a return on my investment from an offensive standpoint. I need to fire my offensive coordinator before this unravels. Like I can't imagine. I know we have to take our final break, but I can't imagine Jonathan Gannon thought that this kind of season was possible. And with benefit of hindsight, like I'm sure would do a lot of things differently. But he's in it right now. He's not firing Drew Petzing today or next week. He's not firing Jeff Rodgers today or tomorrow. Like you made a commitment to those guys. You need to see it through. And unfortunately, you know, pending these final two games very well could cost you your position. And again, like we all make decisions in life where we have to live with the consequences of that. And if he's terminated as the head coach and gets another opportunity to be a head coach, I'm sure he'll do things differently. I mean, but we're sitting here now and it's like, to your point, there's nothing he can say that is going to remedy what's been done. And no one has confidence in what he's saying about what could be fixed in the future, unfortunately.
And if there is, if he does survive beyond 2025, what this offseason is going to look like, how you basically have to rebuild things, almost start nearly from scratch on your coaching staff.
And your fan base.
Yeah, and do that on the fly while finding a way to get players back on track as far as maturation and developing, while, you know, adding the pieces necessary to be competitive. The quarterback position, it seems so daunting, but you know, you could see that like it could happen. It really could. I know like there's very little precedent for it, but you know, given the team that we cover, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not ruling it out.
One more break and then your super chats. It's PHNX. Let me ask everybody a question right now. I'm going to ask everybody a question. Are you looking to get your freak on with our friends at Fashion Nations, right? Like, I'm not here to kink shame, right? I want people to do what they want to do, right? People are always like, hey, I want to be me, right? But I don't want to be outed for what I like because people like what they like, Bo, and we're not here to shame them for that. Check out one of our newest sponsors at Fascinations. They're like, we want to be able to provide a service for your audience, and I am all for it. Again, they've got an unbelievable collection right now. If you know what I'm talking about, there's a big sale going on. The holiday season is here, and this is what you want. You're fascinated by Fascinations. I can't blame you. You can buy online or pick up in store, but again, discreetly sent to your home, A+. Fast, easy, and again, did I mention it was discreet? Shop online, fascinations.net, or visit one of their 12 locations in Arizona. If you want to go see in person, you are welcome to do so. Hell, I encourage it, because what happens under the mistletoe stays under the mistletoe with Fascinations, your one-stop shop for pleasure this holiday season. Use the bonus code PHNX30 at checkout. You're going to receive 30% off your order. That's PHNX30 at fascinations.net. Fascinations, not nice, naughty list, Bo approved.
If you've been in an accident, suffered a serious injury, you got to do your research. It's so imperative that you do so, because the lawyer you hire really does matter. Mark and Alexis Breyer, the husband and wife law team. Phoenix is home for them. They take the Valley seriously. It's where they raise their 8 children. Of course, their focus has always been the results and do right by their clients. After a serious injury, you want an attorney focused on your outcome, not the firm's bottom line. Brought by decades of experience, that's what they have at the husband and wife law team. Certified specialists, personal injury, wrongful death. Something like fewer than 1% of Arizona lawyers can say that. But Mark and Alexis can, and their team over there, the husband and wife law team. They go to trial if its case demands it, and real access to your attorney, not just, a call center. You don't get to run around. You get the experience you deserve after you've gone through the pain and suffering or whatever you may be facing here. If you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team, 602-783-8841, or visit the link in the show notes. Tell them your friends over at PHNX Cardinals sent you.
Everybody really liking our new sponsor. Interesting. Check them out right now. Fashion Nations. Check out the link in the show notes. Listen, I'm not here to king shame.
Never. No. No, but I appreciate you, obviously tempering yourself throughout that.
How about falling on the sword so you didn't have to read that?
No, I would love to.
You would. You're a lovely man. All right, let's jump in to the super chats today. We love fashion is. Desert Vulture kicking things off, $2. Yeah. So much for home field advantage. 1 win, Bo, out of 8. And it's not just that they lost, it's the teams that they lost to. Tennessee, Atlanta, before the season. The Jags flew cross country and beat you in your building with Trevor Lawrence.
It was it would have been really rough to tell me back in September after the home opener that was going to be the only win that we were going to witness against Carolina way back in week 2.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. Desert Vulture, you're right. We talked about it last year. Like it was really frustrating as the team, was doing some good things and they were playing some big games in December, and you continued to see the opposing fan bases infiltrate State Farm Stadium.
Yeah.
But during seasons like this, you don't blame Cardinals fans for, trying to, get some sort of close to what they probably paid for these tickets in the offseason.
Yeah. Agreed. Shane Lane, friend of the program, $4.99. Bo, next presser, ask JG if it's smart to move on from Kyler Murray, knowing he's your only good and best option for 2026. Counting on you to ask the tough ones. Yeah, Bo, ask the tough ones.
The only problem, Shane, is he wouldn't entertain it. So, I don't see that as I don't think that would be in my best interest to ask that question. I understand why you would want it to be asked. You would think there's some sort of from an accountability standpoint, but I just have a pretty good idea of what the answer is going to be. And it would be, he's just focused. He's Belichicking it this week. He's on the Cincinnati, and then he's got the Rams, and he's not thinking about the offseason. He's not thinking about Kyler. I guarantee you I'm not getting anything worthy of a response as far as that question goes. But look,
I mean, if he's
it's
back,
a question that's going to have to be answered this offseason, no doubt about it.
T. Clearly, a very generous $20 super chat. A Merry Christmas to the best podcasters and Cardinal Info Pod. We appreciate that, T. Cleary. I appreciate you more than you know. It's been a brutal season that none of us saw coming, but this is why we do it, my friend, for the community and everybody here, including yourself.
Appreciate Terry's great as far as on the Twitter streets. Talk to him on IG. Just overall, just unbelievable person. Just so grateful to have him a part of this community. Keeping it going here. How about who we got? Just dealer's choice, Kevin. Who?
Yeah, Desert Vulture right here.
Yeah. All caps. What I don't understand, fan base feels a sense of urgency, but team appears to be following a long process with no results.
Yeah, I mean, Liam Cohen, Vrabel, Ben Johnson win immediately. Cardinals with good players keep losing, and it's just like we got to let them have time to get it right. Like, time's up. Time's up. Like, that's how I'm operating. You've had enough. I mean, like, by the end of the season, they're going to have coached 50 games here in Arizona. Think about that. They're 15-33 now. So that would make it, they're going to be 15-25. 20 games under 500. 15-35, excuse me. They'll have coached 50 games. If you don't know by 50 games, like if you have not shown an ability to win after that, then we know, like we know
51. It should be at 51.
Okay. Maybe I'm off by a game.
So they're 15-34, correct?
Right now, I thought they were 15-33. Whatever. Point remains, you're going to have 50 plus games, and you're going to have lost.
Yeah. The point is, it's 15 here in the win column, and then a lot in the loss column.
I mean, to lose this year more games than you lost your first year. I mean, bro, what are we doing? And I
think that this next game, there's the potential of going 20 games under 500.
Okay. Steven Jackson, $5. Time to shut down most of the starters? Question mark. This team has been cursed by injuries. I'll be sick to my stomach if one more star has a catastrophic injury. Well, the good news is they're not playing at State Farm Stadium, and that appears where a lot of their players get hurt right now.
Yeah.
But also why weren't players for the Falcons getting hurt yesterday? I don't know what it is, Steven, but I wouldn't be playing Paris Johnson Jr., but everybody else needs to play. We can't use injuries as an excuse, but then sit everybody. The young players need to play. They shouldn't be, like you've said forever, they shouldn't sit Marv. If the players get cleared by the medical staff, then they should be able to go out there and put good tape on, try to get better,
Yeah, Gannon said that much about Marv is, the reason he's playing is he wants to play, and he's not in danger of really kind of making his heel injury any worse than it is. So why not let him go out there and grit it? It's probably just a pain tolerance issue.
Yep. Next up.
Alex has been a member for 3 months. Love it, Alex. Thank you for being loyal to PHNX Sports here for the last 3 months. You're the best. Y'all remember when we had hope and aspirations for this team? Good times, man. Good times.
Those were fun and good. Now we're 2 weeks away from a potential mutiny on our hands with this fan base. But we appreciate you and your commitment to the channel. Charles, $9.99. Good to see you, Charles. Monti's job should also be in jeopardy. The 2024 draft was supposed to lay the foundation for this team. Monti is Charlie Brown, and the 2024 draft is Lucy moving the football as Monti swings and misses.
Yeah.
The 2023 draft, I think, is an A.
Yeah.
2024 draft right now is an F.
Yeah, and 2024 was that was supposed to be the concrete foundation layer that they were going to get. And, let's just go quick through it. Marv's dealt with injuries throughout this season. You're still looking for signs of the player he was at Ohio State. Darius Robinson, I think you could say he had his best game yesterday. If you could get more of that, you'd say good things about D-Rob, but we haven't seen it before yesterday. So he's going to have to stack some performances here. But otherwise, you've been wanting more from D-Rob. Max Melton, who you had in the second round, you traded down from your original spot, is essentially benched before, dealing with this heel injury. And then your third round, this is just a disaster class as far as that draft goes. Trey Benson, still waiting for the second year back. He was lost to injury, unfortunately. Good thing that, Adams was able to make his way back into the lineup, but he was benched this year. Tip Ryman was lost to injury. Elijah Jones was a healthy scratch yesterday. Those were your third round picks, and they just haven't been able to make consistent contributions to this team. So all those top 100 picks, and what do you have to show for them?
Yep. Libertarian Sasquatch 199. He's a nice guy. Cool. I want a winning coach.
I get that. I get that. I genuinely get that.
Yep. 1,000%. We're with you. It'd be great to have both, but that's not always the case. Charles back 499. Unfortunately, Monti will be known as the GM who looked cool making a draft day trade for NFL Films, made for the cameras, not for the war room. Well, he's going to have a chance to remedy that because Michael Bidwill allowed Steve Keim to be GM for 10 years. Monti, I think, is minimum going to get 4 seasons. The question is, is Jonathan Gannon going to be with him or not? But it would be crazy. Like, would Monti get another coach after this year? Like, if Gannon comes back, they bought him out again. Would he allow Monti to hire a coach in 2027? I don't even want to think about that. Trinell, $5. I'm a Cards fan and never jumping ship, but this organization has shown us who they are since the team has been AZ, and only the Browns have a worse win-loss percentage. I also think not making changes in January would signify to fans that you're just not serious about winning. You feel like you know better than the other franchises that routinely win.
It's tough on these streets. It always has been, and trying to find a way forward. It's in finding consistent success. Still not there yet, and that's the one thing that's what Cardinals fans have wanted. They just wanted something that resembles what most NFL fan bases get to experience. It's like when you're down, there's better days ahead, but that hasn't necessarily been the case with the Cardinals. It's like you stay down. What are you doing getting up? You stay down, Cardinals. You're not allowed to have success. And if you do, it's just a blip. Keeping it going. How about Shane is back? Is it normal for a head coach to oversee 2 rebuilds? Offensive line and front seven need an overhaul. Need a running back, quarterback, and coaching staff. Still can't believe this regression.
No one if Jonathan Gannon were to be retained, let me just make this as clear as possible. If Jonathan Gannon is retained in January, it is an unprecedented set of circumstances we have never seen before, ever in the history of the NFL, in modern NFL football. To lose 4 games, then win 8, then lose 3, you are not to have 15 wins in 3 seasons with no playoff bursts at all, and couple that with the home record and the divisional record, it would be an unprecedented set of circumstances.
What do we got here, Kevin? Yeah, it looks like Michael Aragon. Please break the glass and bring in John Gruden. Or maybe Jay Gruden. He just said Gruden. Which Gruden?
No, thanks. I want somebody in the NFL right now that's coaching that can
John
seamlessly
Gruden
transition.
Would be elite for this show, though.
Yeah, John Gruden is OC, not as head coach, and he would never take an OC job. Libertarian Sasquatch, $4.99. JG is a loser head coach. He can't even lean on player development. 90% of the players we drafted look like busts. MHJ and D-Rob look worse this year. The coaching has grown stale for players, and I don't think it's fair to analyze a lot of these top picks until new coaches are here. So I'm with you.
Who do we have here? Iron Man. Oh, no, Lamar Washington. Would you guys rally around John Harbaugh? His seat seems to be heating up.
100%. If they could get John Harbaugh to this franchise, 1,000%. Because he knows what winning looks like. I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl in a minute. God forbid, they just get a coach. Like, here, Todd Bowles, if they were fired, would be a home run for this franchise tomorrow. We have to look at this like, don't go out and try to find the next Sean McVay. Get somebody that can come in and stabilize your flipping program and get people to buy back in. hey, be an adult program.
Right.
That's why, like, Mike McCarthy, like, I don't love the idea, but he wins. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not here. After this bloodbath, you can't scoff at a guy who wins like 8, 9, 10 games a year. That's why Mike Tomlin didn't get fired. But like to sit here and be like, go ahead.
Yeah, Harbaugh very rarely experiences seasons like he's doing right now in Baltimore. I think he would be able to sniff out a roster that can compete, is worthy enough of competing or not, because he's experienced it.
Mhm.
And I think the same could be said for McCarthy. Like, people roll their eyes at Mike McCarthy. He's basically got the same career as Sean Payton, including the Super Bowl being
Right.
over a decade ago. And people want to crush him. Sean Payton just happens to be trendy because he's on a team that plays a strength of schedule, like I don't know who played a bad strength of schedule. Kevin, you're a college guy. Who played a bad one?
Any SEC team that tried to tell you that they're good at football.
Thank you, Kevin. There you go. He had like a Jake Paul fight schedule before
There
he
you go.
faced who is it? The guy on Friday.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua.
Charles, $4.99. Unfortunately, JG has joined the Wilkes and Dennis Green tier.
It
John
sucks.
Harbaugh needs to be in Arizona next season. It's true. If Gannon's fired, it will go down as one of the worst times to follow the team.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which is I mean, it's brutal. I mean, like, and you're not playing without a full deck. Like, you were supposed to beat Tennessee and Mac Jones. Those are games that were just, the NFL is gifting you. The NFL schedule makers gift you. You can't. Kirk Cousins could not throw he has a rag arm. His arm is toast. You saw it up close, Bo. That game was there for you. How can you look at a schedule in May and we're sitting here and it's just like, well, that could be a win. No, this team showed they can't win a flipping game.
Right.
One game, they can't do it.
How about our guy, Paul Chavez? I appreciate the job you do. Most informative Cardinals podcast there is. Sadly, we may not crack 30 points a single game this year. That may be a new achievement for us.
I'm all about, like, benefit of hindsight. The Clayton Adams departure was when Jonathan Gannon got fired.
Man, I didn't even think about that. We are reaching new lows.
They deserve it.
Charlie's
They're like, we're not. How dare anybody? I will scoff at people questioning firing coaches mid-season. Really? Like, Tennessee fired their head coach, like, helped Cam Ward a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in one of the most cutthroat industries in the continental United States, maybe fire a coach and then the players suddenly they perk up and they're like, oh, we need to perform now. But everybody loves each other and everybody's best friend, and we get NFLPA grades that are high, so we can't be criticized. Just like, your messaging has been a failure this season. The players have tuned you out and you can't win games. It's like, oh my God, I would never fire a coach. You got a coach that's got a one-way ticket out of here that's still on your staff, your defensive line coach. What are we doing?
Keeping it going with Charlie Sinclair. Hopefully nobody on local radio poo-poos the Cardinals finally doing the right thing and hiring Harbaugh. They hire the best assistants and install a winning culture day one.
One prominent former color man tried to poo-poo that and was very adamant that we did not need Jim Harbaugh in this market. So when you listen to a certain flagship station here locally and they try to feed you something and you're like, that doesn't sound right, it's because it's not. So trust your instinct, trust your gut. If a guy's a winner, he's probably a winner. Ask yourself, like, how little would you think of Bo and I? Maybe people don't like us, and that's fine. Not everybody's going to like us. If Bo and I came on this show, Jonathan Gannon loses 13 or 14, and we tried to preach patience on this show, I would question who you consume. That's just my opinion.
Jersey Cardinal. What's going on, Jersey? $9.99. Worst season ever. If there's anything that gave me life, it's you guys. I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone in this family forum. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, all. That is a beautiful chat. I appreciate that so much, Jersey Cardinal. We appreciate you and everybody in this chat. You make this possible for everybody, not only this show, but of course, PHNX Sports. It's just, it's an honor to be a part of this community and just talking about the teams we love and getting to know each and every one of you. So thank you, Jersey Cardinal. That means so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, my guy. Cool, bro. Cardinals are the guy that is broke, overweight, and behind on bills trying to be in the dating pool, right, Johnny? Why was that addressed to me? Why is that addressed to me? I think I do okay financially. I'm happily married, and we all could lose like a 5 spot, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, here's what I think the Cardinals are. The Cardinals are afraid to move on from their spouse, even though they're in a relationship that's not benefiting them, and they need to get back out there. And they're afraid to get back out there because there's going to be 10 openings in competition. But you can't be afraid to find that special someone.
Right. Right, Johnny? I love that. Thank you, cool bro. That made my day.
Why is that addressed to me?
They got bad breath. They've got nothing going for them.
They're undersized. They're small. They look like a hermit, hobbit boy.
Everybody makes fun of them behind their back. Right,
yeah,
Johnny?
boys features. Right, Johnny? Charles, $4.99. Brandon Staley, who got fired into the sun for giving up 63 to the Raiders, is coaching better D than JG Tough. The regression of the defense is the reason if Jonathan Gannon gets fired, he'll get fired.
Yeah, if you look at Brandon Staley's coaching record, it's better than 15 and 34.
It's way better. Gannon's coaching record is with Steve Spagnuolo and who's the guy that tanked with the Browns? What was that guy?
Hugh Jackson?
Yeah. They're approaching Hugh Jackson territory.
Yeah. Charlie's back. JG sounds like Staley. They are on the record best friends. Sorry for bringing it up again. He also is a big process over results guy. Look what happened to him. Sometimes you just need results.
Not overrated to win some games, Charles. I'm with you. Iron Will, $10. Trade K1 with additives to get first or second to guarantee Mendy or more. Trade Connor with ads to get early second round pick. Jordan Love with our 5th pick. Focus second and third, or Jeremiah Love, second and third on O-line. Pass block strength and Singleton running back. I'm with you. I think that if you could trade up for Mendoza or more, you need to do it. But the question then becomes, what if you can't do it? If you can't do it, what is the plan? Because I think the plan, Iron Will, is obvious. You've outlined it. I think that's the obvious plan.
But our guy coming in here, Ghost of Pat Tilley, $20. Thank you, Ghost of Pat Tilley. JG, 100%.
So much.
MBA BS. We need a FU entrepreneur cowboy like BA.
Yep.
He is the only top tier coach we have ever had.
Him and Don Coryell. Bruce Arians got here 10 years too late. And then he left and won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. They need, but I don't even know, but you can't, we'll get to the coaching search if we have one, but you can't, I don't think you roll the dice on an inexperienced guy until all the experienced guys tell you no, until Bowles and Harbaugh and Mike McCarthy look at you and say, nope. Robert Saleh tells you no. But then Bidwill also, are they going to want to go through a process where people tell them, you have to be okay with somebody telling you no. I don't want to not pursue Robert Saleh because Jeremy Fowler put out an article and, he's being advised, of course he is, by Kyle Shanahan not to take any job. Sorry. Hey, Robert Saleh, I don't want you if you're not committed to trying to turn this thing around. You can't have a cupcake rebuild every time. Sorry, the Packer job's open every once in 20 years. If you're a good coach, Liam Cohen went to the Jags that never win. They could be the 1 seed. Ben Johnson, the Bears are terrible. Not anymore. I want that kind of coach.
Yeah. Shaft, $20. Thank you, Shaft.
Thank you, Shaft.
Breaking news in the Die Hard Fantasy League, Johnny. Han shot first. Our guy Jason knocked off the top seed, Will Johnson. Shaft himself. I'm sorry, Shaft. First semifinal, and the Bo Brock 14 personnel. That's my homage to Drew Petzing. Is winning against Brian P. BP needs 63 points. Brian, I know he's got a 12% chance, but no. If I score over 200 points and I lose, then I don't believe in this league.
It's all fake. Charles, Fascination send you guys a swag bag. If I did, then that dirty dog Damon stole it. I'm sure he did. Sure he did. He's out there slinging Fascination stuff for a date, for a hot date. AZ Cat, $5. JG looks broken, no confidence. Maybe a trip to Fascinations would help. Good ad read, Johnny. Gannon's going to be financially taken care of for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But it's not about money to him. It's about winning. They just can't do it. All they know is losing.
Yeah. Full transparency. Johnny got a little blue on the ad read and had Kevo clean it up a little bit.
I let a couple things slip. I let a few things slip out.
Something hit the editing room floor that I just thought this little wholesome podcast could not dare to. We couldn't survive if it hit the airwaves.
Bo was taken back. He's like, he's pearl clutching. My goodness. Patrick, $4.99. Merry Christmas. Do you think they genuinely lost yesterday or losing now intentionally for a higher draft pick? Patrick, they are 100% trying to lose games. They are 100% trying to win games. Gannon wants to save his job. Yeah. Michael Bidwill wants to be able to tell people that Jonathan Gannon's the right guy. He does not want to fire Jonathan Gannon. There is a 0% chance they are trying to lose games. The Jets are sitting better quarterbacks for an inferior quarterback. The Cardinals are like, we're trying. Like Drew Petzing wants to be able to say, "Look at me, I'm getting us wins at the end of the season, and we've turned things around." And no, they're just really, really bad at this, and that's the worst part. Charles is back. Or you got something to add?
No.
Charles is back. Merry Christmas, guys, and be blessed. Thanks for letting me vent and hang out. Well, yeah, congrats to your Chargers for locking up what should be a playoff spot this weekend. Jim Harbaugh is a treasure, as is Justin Herbert. So, and see, I mean, the Chargers have an elite coach, elite quarterback, but their roster's been in shambles this year, in complete shambles.
Yeah. Yeah, they had 2 top tackles go down. They're able to overcome it.
Are they putting out press releases? Feel sorry for us?
Right. No, it's Charlie, we appreciate you, man. We love that you come in the chat, even though you're not a Cardinals fan. You hang out with us. You're welcome. Whether or not you want it, you're an honorary Cardinals just chatter. You know, you're here. You're part of the crew.
How about this, Bo? Ranger gifted 50 memberships. Unbelievable.
Easy. Rangers Oprah. It's like you get it, you get a membership, you get a membership, you get a membership. Ranger, you're unbelievable. And a $5 super chat. Ranger, Merry Christmas, Johnny and Bo in chat. This is a gift of the fans' 50 memberships.
I love it. This team is poisoning me, but I love Ranger and PHNX Sports. Thank you so much, Ranger. You are the absolute best. We appreciate you.
That is unreal. We love it. We've seen it before. We had 30 memberships donated, 10 memberships donated. Just the supporter crew and then giving back, paying it forward. 55 PHNX Sports memberships, 55 nuggets, 55 tacos. I mean, it's all there. Thank you,
doing
Ranger.
Something. Ranger, I'm doing something. AZ Cat, $5. We know who JG is. We know who JG is. We need to let him off the hook. RIP Denny Green. Yes, RIP. Go Cards. Merry Christmas, Johnny and Bo. Merry Christmas, AZ Cats. That's the sad part is we thought we knew who JG was in terms of an on-field coach, being able to lead this team. I used to call him Vrabel 2.0. I said, I don't know if they're ever going to win anything, but I know the floor is 7 wins. No, it turns out the floor is a horrific nightmare season in which the team loses at a historic pace. And that's what we know. You can't turn around and say, well, look at that blip. Talk about a blip and a dip. That was their winning streak last year before the bye. That was the dip. This has been the norm.
Wow. How dare you? If you did receive a membership, make sure you drop a like on this video. Support our guy Ranger for his generous donations. Keep it going. Brian. Actually, I'm not going to read Brian's chat as we are right now battling it out for the finals in Fantasy Football League. So if you could, Johnny.
Yes. Buddha Baker, according to Brian, has sold his house in Paradise Valley this week. Well, Buddha Baker's got 2 years left on his deal, but most of his guarantees are this year. Can't really be cut unless they just get him off the roster. I don't know if that might just be I'm upgrading homes. Could be upgrading homes, which, I've heard Buddha's house is beautiful. I'm sure it is. So, but I think Buddha's, if they don't, I don't think they'll cut him. I think Buddha will be back next year, and next year will be his farewell tour. Charles, $4.99. Would Bidwill and Monti be okay handing control over to head coach if that's what it takes to hire him? Michael Bidwill has never shown an ability to get a Sean Payton, esque kind of head coach that could come in here and do it all. But I don't think John Harbaugh or Mike McCarthy would demand what Sean Payton demands. I think it would be a lesser request.
Right. McCarthy already had to deal with what's going on in Dallas and what you have to endure as the coach there. And then Harbaugh works in concert with his two pretty solid GMs in Baltimore, and Ozzie Newsome, and then recently DaCosta. So I don't think that's going to be something that they're going to have, but I'm trying to think who potentially would want that. Like, would I know Gruden's not on the table, but like if you're looking at the candidates out there who would command that, because there's nobody that has the resume that would be able to go in there and have the ability to do that.
Bo, I'm going to pose this to you because Lamar, $5 respectfully, even though he doesn't say that, saying I'm full of what if I think the Cardinals are trying to win. No offense. Bo, are the Cardinals trying to win games?
Based on the lack of aggressiveness yesterday, I mean, I don't disagree with Lamar either. Just you could make a case against it.
You think they're trying to tank this year?
No, I don't think, because I'm more on the side of the evidence that you've put forth, where Gannon needs to win a game in order to potentially check a box to get to the next steps to survive and advance. But looking at like how often they settled for field goals yesterday and were willing to kind of keep the score where it was instead of trying to be aggressive when they didn't have any reason not to be. It's just, it is strange to me. I'm not going to just completely discount that. I think Lamar could be right.
You think that they're purposely trying to lose games at the end of the season? That's nuts.
What benefit does, like organizationally, as far as team have from that?
No, the NFL teams don't subscribe to that are in year 3. Jonathan Gannon's record is atrocious. Do you think people are telling Jonathan Gannon, hey, Jonathan Gannon, can you just keep blowing games? Can you just keep being terrible for another?
Chad Ryland he attempted 6 field goals yesterday.
Bo, don't underestimate this team's ability to just suck.
Man, I don't.
This team is just atrocious. You guys are not, though. You guys are the absolute best. It's been a banner show here on a Monday. We are off until Friday, so you get to take a break from us and the Cardinals. In the meantime, enjoy the holiday season. We appreciate everybody in this community more than you know. And Bo and I will be back with a Friday show. And then the three of us, Bo, Britton, and myself, will be out of Gila Sunday morning for an early kickoff Cincinnati. I know people asked yesterday. The watch along will continue. We'll return this weekend. I didn't want to do it all by my lonesome.
Yeah.
I have a punchable face enough as it is. Nobody wants to watch me for 3 hours talk. So my wife already complains enough about that. So I wasn't going to subject anybody to a solo Johnny watch along, Bo.
Right. Look, we're off, but we're not off. We've got great content coming your way at the same usual PHNX Cardinals time, 4:30. Tune into those. Support the work that we collaborated with our great staff here and are putting up here tomorrow, Wednesday, and Christmas. Very special mock draft. Yeah, it's mock draft miss on Thursday. So once you're done opening gifts and you or your family's tired of you, or you're tired of your family, just hide away and make sure you check out our mock draft. Tell us what you think. It gets a little spicy.
Spicy guys. Some like it hot, and that's what our mock is all about. For both,
it's not as hot as a Johnny Fascinations read.
That's true.
My goodness.
They're going to get more and more risque. Trust me. You're going to have to stay tuned to see that. In all seriousness, we appreciate everybody. Have a happy, safe, and wonderful holiday season this week. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you choose to celebrate. And make sure to subscribe. We are slowly but narrowly approaching 50K here on PHNX Sports. For Bo, Kev, I'm Johnny Venerable.
Thank you, Ranger.
We're back on Friday.
We all silly like the mayor.